was just trying to get a job in some other industry and I couldn't make it. So my backup was to do coding again. After completing the first big project, I realized that my backend knowledge is very poor. So initially learning, there will be a few blockers which you cannot like figure out by Googling or something. So at that time, these mentors helped me.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to another exciting episode of Humans of Pesto. Today, we have the pleasure of interviewing Samrat, who is a Pesto alum. So today, we'll be talking about his journey as a developer and his, how he discovered Pesto and what he's doing currently. Samrat, thank you for joining us today.
Hi, Laisha. Thank you for having me.
To kick things off, could you take us through your journey as a developer and how did you start coding and your entire journey in tech so far?
In third year of my college, placements started, and I was not really active at that time in terms of like applying for placements and stuff like that. I was just trying to get a job in some other industry, and I couldn't make it. So my backup was to do coding again.
Okay.
So that's how I got into coding. But then I really liked it. There was a point where I needed some mentorship and guidance because I had a lot of doubts and I was not sure how to get a job. So that's why I joined Pisto, and that's how my journey started.
Got it. So, a lot of the times when developers are out there looking for resources, they'll go to different places. So, how did you discover Pesto?
I saw the bear bicep video once. So I remembered Pesto. So before joining, I really wanted to become a React developer because that was my first coding experience and I loved it. I loved how React was like working. And the front end was like really rewarding, you just build a website and you can actually visually see it. After completing the first big project, I realized that my backend knowledge is very poor. Now I think I mostly work on the backend side. So that's how it started.
So, I wanted to understand what kind of impact the mentorship had on you during the entirety of the program.
I really wanted someone to guide me through the process and I needed a roadmap. So that is what Pesto was exactly offering. So what the mentor actually does is you will get two sessions. In the first one, you will be one-on-one and there will be one group session. I mostly like it the group section bet more because you get to know what they did during that week, what problems did they face. So my learning was mostly on that meet. And one-on-one was great also. I used to get some blockers which I couldn't figure it out. So my mentor helped me there.
So, how was your experience of building a product from scratch during the program?
Before the Pesto's final project, I built a full stack website. In that one, I learned like all the coding related stuff. But in the Pesto's one, I learned how idea becomes a LLD, HLD, and then a website. They will examine every feature and they will basically like go through the whole project and they will like give you reviews on why you need this, why you don't need this. So it helps you understand why you are building a feature. And also the coding part was great because if my design and my website is not like accurately matching, they will call me out on that. So I had to like really make the website accurate.
How did the project phase actually help you understand or get a feel of how projects work in real world in actual companies?
I learned front end and back end separately. So that was my first exposure to a full stack project. So I learned how the front end, back end, and database works together. I learned how to work with a teammate because it was a team project.
Right.
And I learned a lot of things. Basically, I went from knowing how to write code and get a terminal output to actually building a website in the final project.
So now that you are into the tech world, working on real world projects, what skill set do you believe that aspiring developers need to ace so that they can reach where you are today?
Before joining Swiggy, if you had asked me this, I would have said you have to learn Stack and stuff like that. I joined Swiggy knowing JavaScript, but now I work on Java and Go mostly. I don't use JavaScript at all. So the most important skill is you should know how to learn a new framework or a new language ASAP. That is the most important skill, and you should have an idea of how to like properly structure a code. and you should know how to adapt to a new language.
I wanted to understand your perspective on the Pesto community. While you were here, you would have interacted with a lot of developers, mentors, your instructor. So, how was the experience like for you?
It was great actually. Before asking my mentor, I usually ask my teammates in the same who have the same mentor. So we used to discuss, and the first team project really, it was the first time I was like coding with someone else. So it really helped me understand how to work with him. So basically, what he does is initially what happened was he used to like write a code and then I have to build upon it.
Right.
And I used to not understand what he have written. So that thing helped me a lot to understand how. That is when you realize that you will not actually build a website. There is already a website or a code, and you have to work on it. So that is something you will learn while doing the project. More than that, mock interviews helped me a lot. So Pesto took care of everything in terms of like building a resume or taking care of your LinkedIn profile. And they also had a few mock interviews, so I knew what to expect in an interview. I can tell you a story on how Pesto helped me after getting placed. So what happened was I got placed. I had a boot camp in Swiggy where they taught me how to work with Swiggy. First 2 weeks they taught me how to do LLD in Swiggy. First day I was expected to write code in Java and Go, but I did not know that. I only knew Monstack. In the next few days, what happened was there was a point when the person who was teaching said, Samrat, I don't think you will be able to continue because you don't know anything in Java and Go. So you call me and let me know why should I keep you in the boot camp? Otherwise, you're done. So then I contacted someone from Pesto and I said that this happened, and I did not say this happened. I said I need someone to guide me through learning Go and this.
Okay.
So they assigned me a mentor to like ask doubts and stuff for the next 2-3 weeks. So initially learning, there will be a few blockers which you cannot like figure out by Googling or something. So at that time, these mentors helped me.
Right. And that's what we actually believe. Your journey with Pesto doesn't end when you graduate, because we want to stay associated with you, help you in your journey even after you graduate. And I'm absolutely, humbled to hear that from you and see the kind of impact that Pesto is able to create. To keep things a little more fun, let's do a quick rapid fire to get to know you better. So are you up for it?
Yes.
Okay. So what's your favorite programming language?
JavaScript.
If you could build any tech product from scratch, what would it be?
It would be something related to crypto because I'm getting really interested in crypto nowadays.
Name one tech-related skill you wish you had mastered sooner in your career.
Solid principles.
If you could work with any tech company in the world, which one would that be?
Google.
Tabs or spaces?
Tabs.
iOS or Android?
iOS.
Mac or Windows?
Mac.
Debugging or refactoring?
Debugging.
React versus...
React.
You didn't let me even give options, so clearly shows your love for React. Any final advice or words of encouragement for all the developers who are starting their journey?
What I can say is I was not the brightest student in Pesto's batch, and I did not like master everything while coming out of Pesto. But if you keep learning and if you keep upskilling, and if you follow the mentor's advice and the curriculum, you will end up with a good job.
Absolutely. I think that's such a powerful message. Thank you, Samrat, for sharing your journey with us and reminding us that if you keep at it, you can really reach great heights. And to all our listeners out there, remember, keep learning and keep growing. That's a wrap for this episode of Humans of Pesto. Stay tuned for more such inspiring stories. Until next time.